Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a video for new moms, moms that have little ones, and women that are getting married, interested in marriage, that are eventually going to have little ones. This is Jaden. This is my son. Say hi, Jaden. I don't think he wants to talk right now. Say hi. Babies. If you just had a baby, you have a newborn, I'm going to just share some general tips and ideas that'll help you from about the time your baby has arrived toward around 12 months. Avoid impulse buys. Children are not as expensive as everyone makes them out to be, as long as you plan properly and shop smart. Now, I would say avoid buying impractical things, fancy things. Children don't care about fashion. I think babies are affected by things that are not practical for them to wear or for them to play with. So make sure you focus on items that are soft, comfortable. Personally, I prefer newborns from the age of when they're newborn towards 12 months. I prefer they hang out in onesies all the time. I mean, they look cute, they're comfortable, and I think they're comfortable for the children also. So try not to buy a lot of stuff because you won't need half of the things that you get. Is breastfeed, breastfeed, breastfeed. Now, a tip on breastfeeding, it's not ever easy. Some people say, oh, well, it's hard because the baby's not latching right. And lactation consultants, they tell you how to latch the baby. But sometimes, and most times, after having 3 children, I realized that even if the baby is latched on correctly, you are still going to go through a lot of pain. Breastfeeding encourages your contraception, your natural contraception, by keeping the hormones going the way they're going and the progesterone going, so that your ovulation is more delayed than it would be if you're not exclusively breastfeeding. And when I mean exclusively, when I say exclusively, I mean that the baby you must be in the moment. You must be looking at your baby, cuddling your baby, nurturing your baby, to have those hormones going strong so that your body won't go off kilter and your body won't go off track. Watch the baby, watch the child as it grows. Take note of the sleeping patterns. For newborns, their sleeping patterns range, from 2 to 3 maybe. Well, they sleep a lot. But as they get older, going on to 12 months, they're going to have 2 nap times. One probably in the morning and one probably in the afternoon. And you want to maintain those nap times. Don't take the child out don't go out with the child all the time when it's time for them to take a nap. You don't want that happening. You don't want to compromise their nap times, especially if they're older and going on into the toddler years. Encourage independent play from as early as possible. Now, there's time to bond with baby and there's time to put him down. I had a difficult time with the boy, and I still do, because he always wants to be with me and I take him all over the place. But with the girls, I had to encourage independent play so that they would give me time to do what I needed to do in the day, whether it be chores or, you know, laundry, whatever it is. I encourage them to play with each other as sisters and alone. Keep bibs and wipes everywhere. If you have multiple children, get a lot of bibs, a lot of wipes, because there's gonna be spills and messes and little things that, you know, you're not prepared for. So keep those things on hand and try to instill duties from an early age. It does just make it simple and make it fun. A child doesn't have to have a lot of excitement going on when they do something right. You just, you know, acknowledge that they did something right. Facial expression is good. You know, facial expressions are good enough. A kiss, a little applause, very good, very good. I use the words very good, very good, and I give them a little clap. And that's all they need. They don't need you to be frantic and wow, and you know, they like that too, but I don't like training them that way because they always expect it, and when they don't get that kind of wow, you did it, that kind of reaction, they're disappointed. Now, children are intelligent and they're gonna cry for many reasons. Children like to cry sometimes. Even when they don't feel right, they cry. You know, there's always noise. I'm not really a fan of noise. I like a lot of peace in my home. So I learned to identify what they're crying for. For most times with younger children, they cry when they're cold, when they're hot, when they're sticky, when they need food, when they need affection. Maybe they're thirsty, you know, they need to be changed, or maybe they have tummy aches or the flu, you know. Moving on up to 12 months of age, children cry more for attention, or when they're idle and they really need something to stimulate them, something to do. So what I do when my children start to get out of hand, you know, start reacting and crying and miserable, I know it's either that they're tired, that they need a bath, that they are hungry, or they just need my attention and they need something to do. After around 8 months or so, your child is gonna be wanting solid foods. For me, I try to keep the diet minimally processed, meaning that I am not you know, very legalistic about the things I give my children, but I am sure that I'm not gonna give them any sodas, not gonna give them any Oreos, and things of that nature I do not want them to have. Maybe they'll have one in 6 months or something, but for the most part, I try to keep their diet fruits and vegetables. For young children, you're gonna want to get a lot of the vegetables that you think they would like. I know butternut squash, sweet potatoes, normal potatoes, asparagus pureed. Those foods work with, I think, any baby. As the child gets older, I suggest giving them small portions of the family meal. Whatever you're making for the entire family, set aside a portion. You either puree it or you give it to them as is, and that will also motivate you to cook healthier meals, not just for the kids but also for you and your spouse and whatever else, because you know you're going to be giving your child a portion of whatever you're having. I suggest reducing all the clutter. For me, I do not keep a lot of plastic toys in the home, dolls and teddies and all this clutter. I don't need it. We don't have space for it, and I know that. So what I do, I choose toys that my children would like. We have one of our sisters sent us a few toys that are age appropriate. We keep that. We stick to books only the books that I think the message is okay. I keep those. I toss the others out, and I keep blocks. So keep a clutter-free home. It helps to maintain order in the home, especially when you have more than one child. For toddlers, I would suggest getting some little chairs that you can buckle them into. That is a lifesaver. I got 2 chairs that the girls have been using, and now Jaden's gonna be using that too. And they're great. I mean, when I really need them to stay put and they're not staying put, I just put them in the chairs, put on a show, buckle them in, and then I can do the laundry, the dishes, and, you know, water the plants, feed the animals, and all this stuff without worrying that they'll get into things that they shouldn't. You don't need to exert yourself to entertain your children. They like spontaneity. They like simplicity. They like simple things. Sometimes some children like routine. So whether you are a kind of mom that likes to schedule playtime, for me, I just do it whenever I feel led to. Whenever I feel like I should engage with my children and give them one-on-one time and run and play with them, I go out and I do something simple. We do a nature walk, or we go to a little playground and they go on the swings, and it does not have to be something that you plan for a week. They just need simple activities. Limit the amount of toys they have to allow for hands-on experience. Now this is gonna require a lot more effort from the mom, especially. So you're gonna need to have a list of things that you'd allow your child to do by themselves, like make puzzles or play with blocks. Or for us, hands-on experience is usually baking some muffins. Like sometimes I would take the girls, I'd put on their aprons, and we'd make some muffins, and they get to stir and they get to crack the eggs with me, and that really helps them to experience something different now and time again. Hands-on experience could also be story time. You know, we practice a lot of story time because we read a lot of books together. So especially the times when I think I should engage with the children, then I pull out some books and we have a hands-on experience. I ask them questions, we read the books, and I explain things. And as young as they're constantly learning. Children are constantly soaking up whatever they see, hear, and experience. And this is why it's important for us to be on check so that they don't learn what they shouldn't. But as parents, we had decided, even when our first girls were born, we decided that we'd always stay as one unit. Whether or not we were agreeing with each other on different things, when it came to the kids, we're gonna stick on one unit. So if he scolds them, and sometimes you know, he does it the manly way. Sometimes I want to nurture them. I stand strong and let my husband handle things. And if they come to me, I say, you should listen to your dad. You should listen to your dad. And if I say something and they run to him and they don't want to listen to me, he says, listen to your mom. Listen to your mom. She says to go sit down. Go sit down. Another tip I would give you, when you have baby, if he's this tiny, like this little man over here, this little man. If they're this tiny, I would encourage you to wear your baby along with breastfeeding. What I mean is, try to take him around with you as much as you can, him or her. Try to take them around with you. You know, lots of women, they want to get back into shape and lose the baby pounds. I tell you this, along with diet, breastfeeding, well, diet would include, diet I would say would be natural, minimally processed foods. Don't starve yourself or anything, just eat a little bit less fatty carbs, you know, carbs like, just find something that works for you. Make sure you're cooking from scratch is what I'm trying to say. Along with cooking from scratch, breastfeeding and carrying this baby around, you don't need to run on a treadmill every day. Eventually, that helps you to get back into shape and get your body, you know, going again, and then you can slip into things like lifting some weights or doing some squats with weights or something like that. Make sure that you teach your children simple commands from an early age, such as no. I said no. Don't do that. Quiet. Stop it now. These kinds of commands stay with them as they grow older, so that they identify what you're trying to say with the command, what you mean, as they get older, and they're more likely to obey that command if they know exactly what you're talking about. For little Jaden here, I would say, no, no, don't do that. Sit down, sit down. And as young as he is, he doesn't know to talk. He doesn't know to, you know, interpret different things. As long as I keep telling him that and putting him, if I say sit down, I put him to sit. Sit down. Sit down. And if you keep doing that, they identify the command with the action, and they're more likely to obey that command in the future. As moms, the biggest tip that I have is to enjoy your children, engage with your children, delight in your children's little quirks and little comments, and, you know, just enjoy being a mom. Many times we're so distracted by other things, and we're so in tune with what society thinks about children. I remember when I first became a mom, all I could think about is people saying, oh, you got children now, oh, good for you. You know, as if it's some bad thing, when the Bible's telling me that children are a blessing. And so I started to talk to the Lord, and I said, Lord, if children are a blessing, I really need to feel and delight in this blessing. I need you to teach me how to delight in this blessing, because blessings are wonderful things. Blessings are things you enjoy. And so, little by little, resisting, you know, my carnal desires, things that I want to do all the time. I want to do this for me. I want to do that for me. You know, I learned to take the focus off myself all the time. You know, me time and me care. There's a time for that, yes. But what I'm really getting to right now is being in the moment. And I look around and I see all these moms just sitting everywhere on their phones. And I'm having a good time with my kids, and I look over and I see women that are in athletic shape, you know, they are just sitting there on their phones like this. And the child would look up and say, "Mommy, Mommy, look at me." And the mom would be like, "Mm-hmm, oh, hi, oh, yeah, yeah." And I felt really bad for the child because there was no interaction with mommy. And who knows, when they get home, mommy's gonna be doing something else. When they get home, mommy's gonna be doing the dishes and cleaning the sinks and cleaning the floors. And every time they say, "Mommy, Mommy, look, look," she's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, okay." That hurts to see that. I try to acknowledge everything my children do. And there are times to not be all into what they're doing, but when they want you to see something or they want your attention for a little bit, you should engage with them. Strengthen your relationship with your children from an early age so that they are more open to learning what you have, so that they're more open to learning what you have to teach them. This is all for now, and tell me if you want some more motherhood tips. I got a whole bunch. So you guys take care and have a good day. Bye. Bye.